winning the men's pursuit. And that's his 4th national individual pursuit title. His teammate Chris Wright out on the track at the moment. And starting to wind up down that back straight. Out of the saddle at the Anna Meares sign, which is a pretty typical place for riders to get out of the saddle and start their acceleration. The clock starts for Chris Wright. He's heading down the back straight, dips the head down, comes into turn 3. A good line through there. And stops the clock with an 11.377. Neil van Niekerk now out on the track from South Australia. South Australian rider right up high on the fence and starting to build speed now. Out of the saddle at the Bears. A different approach for Van Niekerk here, but he's got plenty of cadence as he heads down the back straight. Second fastest split. And it's the second fastest time of 11.141. On the track now from Queensland is Harry Preston. Amirali has the fastest time so far. Nine riders left in this field. Harry cutting the top a little bit. Quite often riders will cut the top in the early laps just to conserve a little bit of energy and then go high right about now. Coach looking for a little bit more down that back straight. Out of the saddle now. And Harry winding up. Good line there through out of turn 2. And Harry stops the clock. We don't have a time for Harry. Dylan Rogers from Tasmania now up on the track. Sam McKee from Tasmania in the medals yesterday with a stunning sprint at the end of the scratch race. To Dylan Rogers now, he's been very conservative for the first 2 laps, but he gets out of the saddle very early, getting up to speed, really working that bike. You want to hit the start line with maximum speed. And he's looking really quick down the back straight. Cadence is high. Aero position, good line out of turn 4. Really leaning into that corner and stops the clock with the fastest time so far, 11.031. so close to a sub 11. That's what all of these gentlemen would be hoping for. And as soon as they break the 11 mark, they start fixating on the 10 mark. And we saw a stunning time from the fastest man in Australia and one of the fastest men in the world, Matthew Richardson, a 9.5 yesterday, which was a new championship record. And these under-19s are all on that trajectory, working towards the elite ranks. Kai now getting his speed up, looking good. Starts the clock running and a good lean into that corner. Looks like he's holding heaps of pace. This looks quick. Our first sub-11, 10.831 for Kai Aubry, and he goes into the fastest qualifying position so far. So a cracker of a time there from Kai Aubry, 66.47 the average speed. Xavier Bland from New South Wales now looking ominous up on the fence. A nice position on the bike. Glates alike. I don't think anybody in the world rides like Glaetzer, but there's plenty of people that look a little bit like Glaetzer. Just using the bank there to pick up a little bit of speed, washing that speed now out of the saddle. What can Xavier Bland bring to the qualifying competition this morning? Looking quick, getting plenty of encouragement from New South Wales as he comes into turn 3. Out of turn 4, he's holding plenty of pace. And a new fastest time, 10.621. Well, it wasn't that long ago you could find yourself in the top 10 at the Olympics with that time. Things have definitely changed, but that's a cracker, 10.621. If you want to do a fast time, Anna Meares Velodrome is the place to do it, and it's good conditions. It's a very quick track, and conditions excellent for fast times today. It's going to get up to 35 degrees, which means it'll be about 150 degrees in the centre. Ricky Growth from Queensland now on the track and starting to pick up the pace as he heads down the back straight. He'll get the bell when he comes around on this occasion. Starting to wind the gear up now. Ricky right over the front of the handlebars, carrying pace down into the back straight, all over the top of that gear. Good line coming out of turn 4. And it's an 11.288 for Ricky Growth from Queensland. All right, another South Australian out on the track now. The time to beat is Xavier Bland's 10.621. 4 riders to go, including Tate. All right, out of the saddle. Tate's really winding this bike up. He's going to have plenty of entry speed by the look of it. Starts the clock and he's flying. This looks like the fastest split, and it is almost Dead on 5, and what is it? It's a 10.182. What a time. What an absolutely cracking time for an under 19. That is quick. Tate Ryan, fantastic qualifier. The South Australians have gone absolutely Burko in the centre, and so they should. Well, it wasn't that long ago when that time for an under 19 was unheard of. Noah Mason now. Conditions are perfect. Noah Mason from New South Wales. Out of the saddle. What has he got? He's just seen a 10.182. He knows the track is fast. He's carrying plenty of pace down the back straight. Cadence is good. Little bit wide on turn 3 and 4 and stops the clock. 10.593. It's a good time. It's the second fastest time. So another fantastic time there from our under 19 men. 10.593, and that'll see Noah well seated in the sprint rounds. That's a very good qualifier. Now from Victoria, Adam Lees. Adam Lees wasting no energy on the first lap. You just want to get yourself up high on the track. Building pace now. Using the dipper. We've got good pace coming into turn 3. Now he's out of the saddle. Building pace up. Dives down a little later than the others, which is a good way to do it here on this track. Quick down the back straight. Third fastest halfway split, and it's a 10.628. Good time from Adam Lees. Fourth fastest time. So he'll go into the match sprints well positioned. That's an average of 67.74 kilometres an hour, which is really moving. Our last qualifier in the Junior Men 19 sprints is Jaden Stanton-Keir from New South Wales. Jaden looking for something special here. Winding up, out of the saddle, down the dipper, taking that pace in, up onto the fence. He's as high as you possibly can be. He's right up on the fence. He's out of the saddle. New South Wales spurring him on, drops down from the start-finish line. Down the back straight, he's looking good. Third fastest half split, and stops the clock with a 10.586 and second fastest time. Straight into the Junior Women 19 sprint qualifying. Maya Dillon is on the track. Fastest time there from the men. Tate Ryan, 10.182. Second fastest time, Jaden Stanton-Keir with a 10.586. Looking forward to the match sprints. There's some firepower in these junior men. Maya Dillon from New South Wales will start proceedings for the ladies. Circulating very high on the track, using the whole track, out of the saddle, just to get a little bit of pace up. So take that pace up the rise on the other side. Still right up. And the ladies tend to start a little bit later. They tend to be on smaller gears than the boys, so you don't want to wind up too early. Maya starts the clock running and looking very aero, and a great line as she heads out of turn 4 and into the back straight. The first of the ladies, Maya Dillon, will stop the clock with an 11.910. Jodie Blackwood from New Zealand is on the track now. New Zealand producing some very, very talented track cyclists. We've got the gear shop from Brisbane up on the concourse near the front door. The owner of a Velo bike is up there as well. And Glenn will be happy to show you some of his new innovations, and you can purchase some of the most popular cycling equipment in the world at the moment, namely the long boy stems and the Velo bike bunch bars. But back to Jodie Blackwood from New Zealand, and she's wasting no energy whatsoever in this preamble to her sprint. She'll get the bell soon. Out of the saddle now, getting the bike up to speed, really putting a big effort in and hitting that start line with as much speed as possible. Great cadence as she heads down the back straight. Fastest split at the halfway mark, 5.641. And Jodie Blackwood stops the clock with an 11.375. Morella Willis-Hell from South Australia is our next female sprint qualifier. There's only 2 left. The last qualifier is the gun from New South Wales, Lilia Tatranoff. But right now up on the track and looking for a very good time in these fantastic conditions is Morella Willis-Hell from South Australia. Morella picking up the pace and approaching a lot quicker than the first 2 competitors. A seated acceleration from Morella. Heads down the back straight, looking good. Morella stopping the clock at 12.032. Well, our final qualifier, we'll expect a very fast time from this young lady, very talented cyclist. Lilia circulating now, 2 laps to go. Right up on the fence. Accelerates now, just a little. Use the bank, up high. Out of the saddle a little later, winding up. What can Lilia do here? Expect something quick. Looking good down the back straight, head down, really motoring that bike. Second fastest split, 5.725. And Lilia stops the clock with the second fastest, 11.640. So that's the end of our junior men and women sprint qualifying. Jodie Blackwood from New Zealand qualified fastest with 11.375, closely behind Lilia Tatranov with an 11.640, then Maya Dillon with 11.910, and then Morella Willis-Hell with a 12.032. Now we move on to event 23, which is the Junior Men 19 individual pursuit qualifying. Hamish Clarkson and Chris Wright will be up first. No, I think they're just waiting. There's two riders. The comment says it was just asking for the riders to go back down again, but they're coming back up again now. So on the front straight we have Hamish Clarkson from Victoria. On the back straight, Chris Wright from Western Australia. 10 heats, 20 riders. First and second will go to the gold final, third and fourth to the bronze final. Both riders out of the gate and winding up their big gears. Not as aggressive out of the gate of obviously individual pursuit riders. There's a long way to go, 12 laps in fact. 3,000 metres is the Junior Men 19 individual pursuit qualifying. After the first lap, Hamish Clarkson is ahead. All right, so early into this team pursuit, and Clarkson's gone out fast. We saw it last night with a couple of riders that went out very quickly and then died at the tail end. That it's a real, you really need to have a strategy and stick to it. It can be. The margin's now out to about 3 seconds that Hamish Clarkson is going really well. Of course, a lot of great riding coming out of Western Australia. And this young Hamish Clarkson is doing well. But they're qualifying not just against one another, but everyone. It's a timed event. First two through to the gold final, third and fourth through to the bronze final. Five laps on the lap board, and just about 2.2 seconds the margin between Clarkson and Wright at the moment. You often see the riders adjusting themselves on the seat, and that's one sign that they're fatigued. They tend not to move so much around in the seat when they're feeling comfortable at the early stages. But as you start to get sore and the lactate is really starting to hurt, you feel like you get a bit of relief just by changing position. But it's coming right back now. The margin is still over a second, but it's a lot smaller than it was. Chris Wright just having a look. Just over a second now, Hamish Clarkson, but Chris Wright, Chris Wright doesn't have much time to make it up. So the margin's really getting close now. Hamish Clarkson in the blue of Victoria, and Chris Wright from WA is really fighting back. Well, Chris Wright now goes to the lead. The Western Australian is having a great back end, and the fast start from Hamish Clarkson is starting to hurt. You can't split them on that half lap just now, so it's anybody's race as they come round. And the Western Australian takes it out. Chris Wright with a 3:33, and Hamish Clarkson, who went out very quickly, a 3:34.87. So our first two qualifiers setting the fastest and second fastest time, of course, and that will set the benchmark for the riders to come, which will be Samuel McKee from Tasmania and Reuben Smith from Victoria. McKee winning the scratch race with a very impressive sprint in the latter stages of the race. Noah Blennon was, I would say, the boss of the scratch race, but looked set to win it. Then McKee came round the bend and took it. 20 seconds. Both riders out of the gate safely. McKee is in the green. He's the front straight, back straight now. Reuben Smith from Victoria started in the back straight, and he's in the Victorian blue. Reuben Smith circulating a little faster on that first lap. Smith still ahead by 200ths after 2 laps, but the early days in the individual pursuit, and they both have their handlers. McKee now fastest time so far. You can see where the handlers stand as a visual indication to their riders how they're going against their target. McKee fastest split, 1:25. He's got just under 2 seconds on Ruben Smith, who's circulating at the third fastest time so far. There's 6 laps on the lap board. McKee looking very dominant in the early stages. Four laps to go after this split. And the split is McKee 1:57 and Ruben 2:01. First and second fastest times so far. McKee now in the same straight. Both riders with their heads down on the black line, although Ruben Smith is really looking a bit more where he's going, but Samuel McKee's really trying to hold that aerodynamic line. His head up a little bit now. As they come down the back straight, he's got his head up because he can see Ruben Smith ahead of him, and he wants to pass, and he wants to pass safely. There's 2 laps on the lap board. McKee now comes up onto the shoulder of Ruben Smith. He goes over the top. Of course, they keep riding because they're riding for time. McKee wants to get back down on the black line as quickly as possible. He does it well. McKee now, last lap, 3:01 split. Ruben Smith, 3:11. He's on his final lap. McKee coming into the straight for the last time, and he'll stop the clock with the fastest time this so far, 3:18.743. And he rolls up to the blue line so that not to impede Ruben Smith, who finishes with the second fastest time of 3:30.006. So our national scratch race champion there is done a 3:18.743. Still 16 riders to come, but that is the fastest time so far. So we have William Mathwin from South Australia in the front straight, in the back straight, in the yellow of WA, Cohen Harper. Both riders out of the gate well and into their work. First of 12 laps and 3,000 kilometres. Riding as fast as they can into the pain cave. It's a special type of individual that enjoys doing this sort of thing. It's really, really hard on the body. And the second half, especially, very, very tough. Really have to be someone that can go deep into the pain threshold, and that's what these individuals really like. 5th and 6th fastest time. Cohen Harper, the faster of the two out there at the moment by a small margin. Cohen Harper on the back straight. Now he's moving his way up through the ranks for the 4th fastest time. As we've seen, each one of these riders has a different approach. We've seen some riders go out very hard and fade. We've seen other riders go out pretty soft but finish hard. So everyone has their own strategy depending on their personal strengths, their training. And they have their handlers out on the track to show them how they're progressing. The two handlers out there at the moment, both using tablets. Cohen Harper, 4th fastest split at the moment, and William Mathwin, 5th fastest split, but very, very close. The margin between them now is almost negligible. Four laps on the lap board, and Mathwin has now moved ahead with the fastest split. Cohen Harper, the 2nd fastest split. So they're riding to a strategy here, and they're finishing strong. 4 laps on the lap board, about to be 3. Last split, we're all looking at the fastest riders so far. Mathwin moving up on Harper now. He's into the 2nd fastest time with only 2 laps to go. Mathwin up now by just over a second. Both riders get the bell. 2nd and 3rd fastest time so far, 3:08 and 3:09. Mathwin up. Big finish from these two riders in lots of pain. The South Australian Mathwin finishes with the 2nd fastest time, 3:25.775, and the Western Australian Cohen Harper, 3rd fastest time, 3:26.716. All right, up next, heat number 4. In the front straight, Edward Marks from ACT. In the back straight, Xavier Siriani from Victoria. Both riders into their work. Edwin Marks in the yellow of ACT. Xavier Siriani in the blue. All right, as expected, a pretty quick start there from Xavier and Edward. And Edward is sixth fastest time so far. Xavier Siriani, eighth fastest, but it is early. 9 laps on the lap board. Marks ahead of Siriani at this stage. Marks still ahead, 7th fastest times. Xavier, 8th fastest time. All right, Edward Marks, Xavier Siriani. They've got 5 laps on the lap board, about to be 4. Marks now into 6th fastest time. Xavier Siriani on 8th. Marks split with a 2.2, and they're both gents are getting faster. 2.21 for Xavier Siriani, 7th fastest time, but moved up from 8th in the last lap. First 2 through to the gold final, 3rd and 4th through to the bronze final. Edward Marks now sitting in 5th, Siriani 6th. So they're finishing well. There's only 2 laps left on the lap board, but they're both finishing strong. What can they do here? Can they get themselves up into 3rd and 4th position? Marks now sitting in 4th. Still a lot of riders to come. Siriani moves up to 6th, 2.55. Marks is looking like he's got a head of steam. They both get the bell. Marks up into 3rd position with a 3.09, finishing very well. Siriani up into 6th with a 3.112. Edward Marks wants a really big lap here to see if he can get into 2nd position and stay in the top 4, and he does that. 3.25.531. It was a strong ride from Edward Marks, and Xavier Siriani moves up into 5th place with a 3.29.953. Well, good job there from Marks. He was rode to a plan and got stronger and stronger as the race went on, and finished in the end with the 2nd fastest time with a 3.25.531. Up next, heat number 5, Connor Doyle from South Australia in the front straight, and Jack Clark, also from South Australia, in the back straight. The live stream in the morning sessions is being operated by a bunch of volunteers that have never done it before. They're just people plucked out of the crowd. And they're all saying they've never had so much fun. Maybe not quite. Right, we've got 2 South Australians here. In the front straight, Edward Marks. Back straight, Jack Clark. looking for some distinguishing marks, but they both look pretty much identical. And their riders 100 and 101, which is the numbers on their back, is a little hard to pick. But I'm pretty sure it's Jack Clark that has the white gloves. And Jack Clark is really starting to accelerate. He's up into 4th place. It was a slow start, but that doesn't mean anything in a pursuit necessarily. So Jack Clark, 4th fastest time. Connor Doyle, 9th fastest time with a split of 1:12. And there's 7 laps on the lap board. Jack Clark, fastest of the two at the moment with the white gloves. He's sitting in 4th position with a 1:27 split. This is our Junior Men 19 individual pursuit qualifying. 1st and 2nd will go through to the gold. 3rd and 4th to the bronze. The good thing about being in the gold medal is if you lose, you get a silver medal. The bad thing about being in the bronze final is if you lose, you go home with a good experience. Connor Doyle, 7th. Fastest time so far. Jack Clark is looking good. What's his back end look like? 3 laps on the lap board. He's still sitting in 4th position with a 2:17. Connor Doyle moving up now into 6th position with a 2:120. Plenty of encouragement from the handlers here on the front straight as he encourages both riders, both team members to move up. And Jack Clark moves into 2nd fastest time. He's finishing very strong. Jack Clark now, what's his split going to be? 2nd fastest time, 2:50.216. They come round and they'll soon get the bell. Half a lap to go before they get the bell. What has Jack Clark got in this last lap? Jack Clark, 3:06.681. Connor Doyle into 6th position with a 3:10. Jack Clark rolling around. Turn a 3 and 4 for him. Into the back straight, and he stops the clock with the 2nd fastest time, 3:23.212. Connor Doyle, 6th fastest time, 3:27.152. Great racing there from the 2 South Australians. And Jack Clark up into 2nd place. A lot of riders yet to come, but hopefully that is good enough for him to get himself into medal ride-off. Heat number 6 coming up now on the back straight. Kai Galtman from New South Wales. Kai spends a lot of time up here in Queensland. We love having the Galtman family up here. Hayden Vanderplug from Tasmania rode very well yesterday in the scratch race. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Hayden in the front straight. Kai Galtman in the back straight. Both riders out of the gate, trying to get on top of those big gears out of the saddle for the first half of the lap, usually. just sitting down typically when they hit turn 3. And then once they get round to about the start-finish line, generally getting down into the drops. A good start from Hayden and Kai. Hayden's gone out very quick, fastest time so far, 36.647. Kai Galtman is in 6th position presently. Hayden maintaining that first position, 52.563. Gone out very quick. Looking very comfortable. Kai Galtman looking good as well. Two riders of heat number 6, rider 111, Hayden van der Ploeg and Kai Galtman. Hayden now just dropping down into 2nd position with 7 laps to go. Maintaining 2nd. Kai Galtman now moving up into 5th. Hayden crosses again. He's moved down now into 3rd place. Kai Galtman moved up into 4th with a split of 1.43. So the fast start from Hayden van der Ploeg is starting to cost him by the look of it. There's 4 laps on the lap board now. Kai Galtman drops back to 5th. Hayden back to 4th. Three laps to go. The split 2:15.5 for Hayden. Galtman back down into 5th position, I think that was. Three laps on the lap board. Hayden van der Ploeg has accelerated back now. He's in 2nd place, and Kai Galtman back up into 4th place. So they're both finishing well. Might be difficult for Kai to get himself into a medal ride-off position, but Hayden's back into 2nd position now. Galtman into 4th. There's the bell for Hayden, and he's sitting in 2nd. Kai Galtman in 4th with a 3:08. Hayden finishing strongly. 2nd fastest time, 3:22.305. Kai Galtman, 4th fastest time, 3:25.240. Good riding there from Hayden van der Ploeg and Kai Galtman, Tasmanian and New South Wales riders of Heat 6. Heat number 7 coming up now, and in the front straight, Lawson Fransman from Victoria. In the back straight, Curtis Strakuja, who will be known as Curtis for the rest of the race, for fear of upsetting one with the incorrect pronunciation. From New South Wales in the back straight. All right, so Lawson Fransman from Victoria. In the blue, Curtis from New South Wales in the light blue. This is heat number 7 in the Junior Men 19 individual pursuit qualifying. Fifth and ninth fastest time respectively for Lawson and Curtis. 9 laps on the lap board. Anything can happen from here. Lawson into 5th, Curtis into 6th place with 8 laps on the lap board. Well, very, very close there. There's only 0.04 of a second in it. Lawson has a slight advantage over Curtis with 7 laps on the lap board. Lawson moves up into 3rd place, Curtis into 4th place. Curtis now into 4th and Lawson into 5th place. Lawson now dropping down to 6th. Curtis now has gone ahead into 5th place with a 1.59 split, 4 laps on the lap board. The fast start is starting to hurt in the back end. Curtis up on Lawson. They are 5th and 6th place. Curtis in 5th, Lawson in 6th. 2 laps to go and they've moved up into 3rd and 4th place. Both riders are finishing well. Lawson now into 5th, Curtis into 4th position. They both get the bell. Lawson Fransman 4th, Curtis in 5th. Come round to stop the clock. Lawson finishes in 4th place. And the clock didn't stop for Curtis, but it was 5th place, I think. Didn't look like it on the replay, Neil.
The guy from the front straight triggered it as he rolled past.
On the front straight we have Oscar Gallagher from Victoria. The back straight, Alex Eaves from Tasmania. Both riders out of the gate. 3,000 metres of pure fun and enjoyment ahead of them. We've seen lots of different approaches to the 3,000 metres from different riders. Some intentional, some not so intentional. And this is heat number 8. There's 10 heats in total. We expect some good times out of these last competitors. Some big names. And Oscar Gallagher, fastest time so far, 36.640. Alex Eaves, about the 7th fastest time, but as I've said repeatedly, doesn't mean a lot. It's just different race strategies can be all that means. Oscar Gallagher still holding on to the fastest time so far with a 52.477. Oscar Gallagher splits with a 108. 109 for Alex. Moves him up from 7th to 4th place in 1 lap. He's really starting to get on top of his gear. The margin coming down now. 125.062. 125.491. Oscar Gallagher fastest time. Alex Eaves second fastest time. Alex Eaves is starting to get into this race. Oscar Gallagher, 3rd fastest time now. Alex Eaves, 4th fastest time. Possibly the fast start from Gallagher is going to hurt him in the latter stages with 5 laps on the lap board. Now 4 laps on the lap board. Alex Eaves now moves up into 4th place. Oscar slips back down to 5th. It's going to be a tough final 4 laps for Oscar Gallagher, having gone out so quick. But Alex Eaves now into 4th. 2:14.482, plays 2:15. The two men getting lots of encouragement. Two laps on the lap board. Alex Eaves into 2nd position. Oscar Gallagher into 3rd. Oscar Gallagher is not going quietly. He was slipping back, but he's really pushed. He's found something. He's found a second win, has Oscar Gallagher. Alex Eaves has just been doing everything he's been asked of him from his handler. He moves into 2nd position. Oscar Gallagher into 4th. They both get the bell. 2nd and 4th. Alex Eaves, 3:04. Alex Eaves pushing hard. And Alex Eaves stops the clock. 2nd fastest time, 3:21. Oscar Gallagher, 5th fastest time, 3:23.260. Gallagher found something in the latter part of the race and picked up his speed. Unfortunately, dropped back off again and is outside of a ride-off for the bronze. But Alex Eaves started slowly, built and built and built, and ended up with the 2nd fastest time of 3:21.281. 4 riders to come and 2 very strong riders in this next heat. Noah Blannon from Queensland and Ben Anderson from New South Wales. Noah Blannon in the front straight, Ben Anderson in the back straight. Both riders out of the gate. And we have a couple of photographers here, unofficial photographers I'll call them. Andrew Trovis and Matt Gilfetter. And you'll find their photos, among other places, on the Golden Bin Chicken Facebook page, which is where all photos from Queensland end up. And I'm sure Morgan Ho from Cycling Photos Australia will post them up on that page as well. But thank you very much for Trovis and Gilfetter giving up their time to come and take photos of the riders. So it's Ben Anderson on the back straight, Noah Blannon on the front straight, and you will see these two riders slowly move up through the ranks. Two serious cyclists out here, and they will be riding to a plan. And you will see as they go through the laps, slowly climbing through the ladder. At least that's what they're hoping for. Ben Anderson up into fifth, Noah Blannon sixth, 125.8 and 126. The splits with 6 laps on the lap board. Next split, Noah Blannon ahead into 5th place. Ben Anderson now into 6th position. Four laps on the lap board. Didn't get a split for Noah Blannon on that back straight. On the front straight, I'm sorry. And Noah Blannon on the back straight now. So Blannon starting to pull away into 4th position. Anderson 6th position, but there's not much in it. There's less than a second between the two riders. Blannon finishing 2nd in the scratch race yesterday. Noah Blannon moves up into 2nd position. Ben Anderson up into 4th. Noah Blannon will want to be in the gold ride-off. Ben Anderson will want also, is getting plenty of encouragement. Noah Blannon sitting in 2nd at the moment. Ben Anderson up into 3rd. Ben Anderson starting to lift. Both riders very tired, pushing themselves as they come around to get the bell. Watch the split. Noah Blannon 2nd, Ben Anderson 3rd. There's still 2 riders to come. One of them's Will Holmes. So Noah Blannon, Ben Anderson, and Ben Anderson has put in a massive final lap to have fastest qualifying time with a 3:19. Noah Blannon 2nd fastest. Ben Anderson absolutely smashed that last lap. So the fastest and 2nd fastest out there in the qualifying. So both riders will definitely be in a ride-off for a medal. What ride-off that is depends on the next race. And on the front straight is the young superstar, that is Will Holmes from South Australia. And on the back straight, Jack Dollar from Western Australia. Great riding there from Noah Blannon and Ben Anderson. They will both get a ride in a final. And we'll see which final that is. But you would expect this young man in the front straight, Will Holmes, to do something special here. 20 seconds on the lap board. Fast start from both riders. Jack Dole's gone out very fast with the fastest time after the first lap. Keep an eye on Will Holmes. Will Holmes now moves into the fastest time. Dole drops down to 5th. Will Holmes now 51.905, 52.869 for Jack Dola. That's 4th fastest time. Will Holmes acts as suspected. Fastest time so far. Can he hold it? Yes, he can, is the answer, but we'll wait and see. 1:07. Dola moves up into 3rd position, so he's got himself into a medal right off, but it's early days. We've still got 7 laps to go. Will Holmes, 1:23.562. Dola now moves up into 2nd position. 2 fastest times so far. Can they maintain it? There's still 6 laps to go. What is it with Western Australia and pursuiters? Maybe because it's so windy. Holmes now down into 2nd, Dola into 3rd. We did see a big finish from Ben Anderson, which will throw the times out in that last lap. Holmes and Dola now moving down into 3rd and 4th. So Blannon and Anderson sitting in the gold medal ride-off at the moment. But you would never write Will Holmes off as he moves back up into 3rd place, and Dola slips down into 5th. 3 laps on the lap board. 2 very fine riders out on the track. Noah Blannon and Ben Anderson watching on expectantly. Jack Dola's got himself back into a bronze ride-off. Can he hold it? 2 laps on the lap board. Watch the finish from Will Holmes. He will build. Will Holmes, fastest time so far. Ben Anderson's last lap was an absolute pearler. Jack Dola is back into a bronze medal ride-off. Will Holmes gets the bell. He's got the fastest time so far. Dola, he's the 3rd fastest time so far. Will Holmes, can he finish on top? Will Holmes stops the clock. Fastest time, 3:16.113. Dola, 4th fastest time, 3:20.156. So, unless I'm mistaken, it'll be Will Holmes and Ben Anderson in the gold final. Jack Dola and Noah Blannon. Noah Blannon and Jack Dola will ride off of the bronze, but a fantastic ride. We expected the fastest time to come from Will Holmes, and he delivered. 3:16.113 from the South Australian superstar. And it's going to be a cracker of a final round between Will Holmes and Ben Anderson, Jack Dola and Noah Blannon. All right, we move on from event 23 to event 24, which is the Junior Men 19 Sprint qualifiers. Winners to go through to the quarterfinal. So round 1, winners go through to the quarterfinal, and the losers go through to the repechage. So Will Holmes, the fastest time, 3:16.113. Jack was in and out the bronze ride-off, but in the end he managed to hold on. So he'll have the opportunity for a bronze. Noah Blannon already has a silver medal at the championships in the scratch race. Will Holmes looking to open his account, as is Ben Anderson.
Would you like some sandwiches? Okay, how do you have it? Sugar? No. Okay. Don't want anything to eat.
Anything to drink? So coming out onto the track, we have Tate Ryan from South Australia and Harry Preston from Queensland. First verse 12, and the winner will go through to the quarterfinal. So if you're unfamiliar with match sprint, it's basically the first one to cross the line after 3 laps. Characteristic of match sprint is that quite often the riders will ride quite slowly because it's a sprint event. Riders will quite often for the first lap ride very slowly, conserving energy for and trying to set up for an attack. Harry Preston on the front. So the rider on the front tries to control the race, and they do that by riding in such a way that the rider behind can't attack, like Harry Preston is doing now. Try to ride close enough that they can't duck underneath you. Try to pin them to the fence. And so you see now the South Australian Tate Ryan picking up the pace going around the outside. Harry Preston trying to accelerate to stay on the front, but doesn't have enough speed. So Tate Ryan is going to go through comfortably this first round, and Tate Ryan will qualify for the quarterfinals, and Harry Preston will go through to the repechage. Up next, 2 verse 11. Just a reminder that the gear shop is up on the concourse, and they've got all sorts of goodies up there. Lots of consumables, chains, and what other consumables are there? Other bits. And then also Glenn from Velobike is up there as well. The Gear Shop Brisbane being the stockist for Velobike, and some of the most popular bits and pieces in the world at the moment, including their long boy stems and their bunch bars. Got their sprint bars up there as well. So grab the credit card out, mosey on over to Gear Shop. Make sure you've got a lot of time, because Matt Leesgang can really talk. And it's great to have the Gear Shop Brisbane and Velobike here at the Nationals. Riders, please, Mr. Haney. Up next, Jaden Stanton Kia from New South Wales up against Chris Wright from Western Australia. Chris Wright on the front. He's in the yellow. Jaden Stanton Kia in the blue, and a very distinctive orange and black frame. Chris Wright now moving up on Jaden. Jaden's picked up the pace, and Chris Wright's got his work cut out holding him up at the fence. But he's doing a good job of it, containing him at the minute. It's nice and close, so he can't go around the outside unless, of course, he accelerates over the top. But that is the plan. And this is 2 versus 11, so Jaden Stanton Kia will go through with a good ride. But it was the right idea from Chris Wright. It was good strategy. Jaden will go through to the quarterfinals and Chris Wright through the repechage. Some tape on my back. So next up, 3 versus 10, junior men 19 sprints. Noah Mason and Ricky Growth from Queensland. Noah Mason from New South Wales, and Mason will lead out. Mason on the front. Have seen, it was a junior race, but did see a rider that qualified slowest, ended up winning the sprint event. Only ever seen it once. It was a junior women's event last year. It was Madison Smith who did it actually, qualified slowest. It was a shocker of a qualifying time, and then won every race until winning the gold medal. It does happen. Isn't particularly common. Ricky Growth here on the front. Noah Mason here on the front. Ricky doing the best he can to try and get over the top. He's giving it a red hot crack. But Noah Mason, too strong. And he will go through to the quarterfinal, and Ricky Growth through to the repechage. Reminder that the cafeteria is open, so if you want to get yourself a coffee or something to eat, duck into the cafe on the concourse. Xavier Bland from New South Wales up against Neil Van Niekerk from South Australia. This is 4 verse 9. The South Australian Van Niekerk on the front. In round one, the riders progressively get closer in terms of their qualifying times. Round one does tend to pan out the way you expect it to, given the qualifying times, but as we get down closer, 5 verse 8, 6 verse 7, you do tend to get closer racing. Xavier Bland around the outside and has really attacked Van Niekerk and showing Van Niekerk some respect, concern, doesn't want to leave anything to chance, and Xavier Bland comfortably goes through to the qualifiers. Van Niekerk will go through to the repechage. Up next, 5 verse 8. Junior men 19 sprint has 2 more heats to go. We will then head into event 25, the Junior Women 19 individual pursuit qualifying. Adam Lees from Victoria up against Amirali Alizada Day, maybe? Amirali from Iran. Amirali leading. Up onto the bank now, and the Victorian Lees circulating up above the blue line. Amirali is just keeping a close eye on him. Amirali picks up the pace just a little bit. He attacks now. Lees comes over the shoulder. Amirali has put in a big effort. Lees comes around the outside and he looks like he will get there, but a huge effort from Amirali. So a good little race there. It was the right idea from Amirali. but Lee's too strong and he will go through to the qualifier. All right, the last of our round one heats for the junior men 19 sprints. And it's the two closest qualifiers in 6 and 7. Dylan Rogers from Tasmania, rider 110, and Kai Aubry from South Australia, rider 99. The Tasmanian Rogers leads out. And as I say, these riders very close to one another in their qualifying time. So there should be a good match sprint. That's why you want to seed well, because in the early rounds you much prefer to be riding someone slower than you. Rogers just taunting Aubry there, but he's solid as a rock, didn't move. First lap completed. Aubry looking for a little bit of height. Aubry going for height. Rogers keeping an eye on him. Gets the message from the centre. Aubry, it's time to go, and right on point. And his acceleration from the top is very quick, and what a good ride there. Very strong ride from Aubry over Rogers. Some good coaching from the centre there as well. Nothing better than a rider who listens. All right, so that's the end of the junior men 19 sprints. Round number one. The quarterfinals will be coming up a little bit later. But now we move back into pursuit land with our junior under 19 women. And the first ride is going to be Isabel Russell from New South Wales on the front straight, and there isn't a back straight rider. You really get a sense for what's happening up above in this velodrome with the white roof, the white acrylic roof. And as the clouds come over, it gets quite dark, pretty dark in the velodrome at the moment, but very hot. 35 in Brisbane today. It's always much warmer in the velodrome, particularly down in the pit area. And good conditions for fast racing. So getting ready for the first of our Junior Women 19 individual pursuit qualifiers. 7 heats, 14 riders. And Isabel Russell makes her way up to the starting gate on the front straight. .30 seconds for Isabel Russell from New South Wales. Isabel Russell out of the starting gate and getting on top of that big gear. It's 8 laps for the junior women, which is 2,000 metres. First and second will go to the gold final, third and fourth through to the bronze final. Isabel Russell, the first qualifier to set the benchmark time, 24.082, lap number 1. You will see some riders like Isabel fanning out to the red line as they come down the straight. Others will stick nice and tight onto the black line. Riders do try in the corners to go as close to the black line as they can to reduce the overall distance that they travel. With a steep track like Anna Meares, there is quite a big difference between the black line and above it. 7 metres in total from the black line to the blue line around the whole track, and the whole 15 metres from the black line to the fence. Isabel Russell, a 1:20 split and 3 laps to go. Two laps to go, 1:39.499. .159 the split. And Isabel will come round next lap for the bell lap. So the riders are riding for a time, 2 fastest time through to the gold final. 3rd and 4th fastest time will go to the bronze. Isabel Russell, first rider with a split of 2:18 with 1 lap to go. She sets the benchmark for the rest of the field. Another 13 riders, another 12 riders, I should say. Isabel now coming out of turn 4 for the last time, and stops the clock with a 2:38.054. Up next, heat number 2. Eva Sizzlowski from WA and Eliza Carnes from Queensland. Eva on the front straight and Eliza on the back straight. Some of these riders are first year under 19s, others are second years. First years getting used to being allowed to use tubs and discs. Shot clock at 30 seconds for these two riders, second and third riders in the junior women 19 individual pursuit qualifiers. Okay, we'll just gates out, gates out, gates out. Take it. Okay, so the ladies are going to restart straight away. Eva Sizzlowski front straight. Eliza Carnes Queensland back straight. Both riders out of the gate for this second attempt at the individual pursuit qualifying. Rider 2 and 3 in event number 25. First and second time, nothing in it, absolutely nothing in it after the first lap. 6 laps on the lap board. Eliza Carnes just a fraction, just 200ths of a second, less than 200ths of a second up. And the fastest time so far. Eliza Carnes looking like she's extending her lead. She's extended it out to almost a second. Eva Sizzlowski in the yellow, Eliza Carnes in the maroon. Eliza Carnes 117, 118 for Eva. 3 laps on the lap board. Eliza Carnes circulating around well. Eva just a little bit off Eliza Carnes' pace at the moment, but second fastest time so far to date, and they maintain 136, 386 and 136, 433. So Eva really starting to build into this second half. There's absolutely nothing in it at that last split, and it looks as if Eva is gone over the top, and she has. She's now up by half a second. So Eva from WA is finishing very strong. They will come around and get the bell. First fastest time, 2:12, place 2:14, 6:54. Eva Sizzlowski, fastest time so far. Eliza Carnes, second fastest time. So Eva Sizzlowski stops the clock, 2:31.053. Second fastest time, Eliza Carnes, 2:34.511. Up next on the front straight, Lucy Hall from Victoria. And on the back straight, rider 128, Georgia Wilson from Queensland. Lucy Hall out of the gate well. Georgia Wilson out of the gate also, and getting that bike up to speed. Georgia Wilson out of the gate faster. Has gone out pretty quick. Fastest time 22.742. Lucy Hall starting a bit slower, but it's very early. So Georgia Wilson, the fastest time for the first lap. 40.783, 42.008. Fourth fastest time for Lucy Hall, and she's starting to increase her pace. Georgia Wilson has come out pretty quick compared to the riders that have gone before her, and she maintains that with 59.249. But Lucy Hall is coming. Third fastest time now. She's building. 4 laps on the lap board. 3.5 laps to go. Georgia Wilson on the back straight is ahead at the moment, but the gap is coming down. Lucy Hall up into fourth. Georgia Wilson still circulating first place. There's about half a second between the two riders. It's much closer now. Georgia Wilson's gone out fast, perhaps fading a little bit in the second half. Lucy Hall building her speed. Georgia Wilson down to third fastest time. Lucy Hall fourth fastest time. 2 laps on the lap board. 1.5 laps to go. Georgia Wilson went out strong. What has she got in these last couple of laps? Wilson back into second place. Lucy Hall into fourth place with a 1:56. Georgia Wilson, she's found some extra strength. Can she hold on? Georgia Wilson gets the bell, second fastest time. Lucy Hall holding on to fourth fastest time, 2:15.849. Can Georgia Wilson, the local girl, get over the top and get into the fastest position or hold on to second? Longing for that finish line, Georgia Wilson. Second fastest time, 2:33.255. Lucy Hall, fourth fastest time, 2:35.818. We still have 8 riders to come, but Georgia Wilson from Queensland in second position. The Western Australian Eva Sizzlowski has the fastest time so far. Georgia Wilson now moving into second position. Heat number 4 on the front straight from Victoria, Alana Riva. On the back straight, Eva Wilson from South Australia. Alana from Victoria. Alana Riva from Victoria out of the saddle, as is Eva Wilson from South Australia, and they will sit down before getting into turn 3. Both riders into the pursuit bars. Second and third fastest time, Eva Wilson second. There's nothing in it. The South Australian starting to build. Eva Wilson, second fastest time. Alana, third fastest. 40, both 41s splits. 5 laps on the lap board. Alana now moves into first fastest. Eva, third fastest, 59.5. The split for Eva. So the Victorian is picking up the pace. Alana now 1:16, 1:18 for Eva Wilson. So the Victorian looking very strong. 3 laps on the lap board. 1:34 for Alana, fastest time so far. 1:36 for Eva, fourth fastest time. Alana, fastest time, 1:51.971. Eva Wilson, third fastest time, 1:54.914. Both girls are finishing well. Alana gets the bell lap, 2:10.105. Eva the bell, 2:13.451. Both riders looking for a big last lap. Great ride here from Alana Riva. Stops the clock, 2:28.703, fastest time. Ava Wilson holding on to that third position so far with a 2:32.015. Up next, we have Lilith Jones from Victoria and Sally Carter from Western Australia. Sally Carter, very impressive in the scratch race yesterday, although didn't come home with any medals. But took on the very strong three New South Wales riders and almost pulled it off, but was ganged up by a fine performance from the New South Wales trio, and is looking for something fast here. On the front straight, Lilith Jones from Victoria. Very strong team, Victorian team here at this Nationals. Both riders out of the gate.
Some of these riders coming off the track is getting a little ridiculous, and they've still got riders circling on the safety zone well after the finish. We don't have that with the lead riders. This is well after they've had 2 minutes to come off the track.
Sally Carter, second fastest time so far, has gone out quick. Lilith Jones, fourth fastest. First and second goes through to the gold medal ride-off. Both of these riders will be looking for that opportunity. Third and fourth through to the bronze. Sally Carter, fastest time so far, 39.856. Lilith Jones, 40.785. Sally Carter looking smooth. Heads round for the next split. Fastest time, 56.382. Lilith Jones, second fastest time. She's building. Can Sally Carter hold on to this pace? She's gone out very strong. 4 laps on the lap board. Sally Carter in the back straight. She's got a big gap over Lilith Jones, 113.438. Now Lilith Jones is in second position. So Sally Carter is riding against Lilith Jones, if you know what I mean, given that she's the second fastest rider so far, which is good. 130.685 to 132.752. 2 laps to go. Can Sally Carter hold the pace? Her pace is fantastic, but can she hold it? She's gone out very fast. Back into the back straight now. Still a good cadence. She looks strong. 147.928. Lilith Jones 150.317. There's still 4 riders to go. Sally Carter needs a good time to be amongst the top 4. At the moment, she's the top rider. 205.493. 208.083. So she's 3 seconds faster than the fastest rider. Sally Carter is riding a blinder. Can she finish it off? She comes out of turn 4. The minder is giving her the thumbs up. She comes across 223.555. 226.065 is the second fastest time. So it's 2.5 seconds faster than the fastest rider. Sally Carter has come and she stamped her foot on a potential in a ride-off, as has Lilith Jones. There's 4 riders to come. Sally Carter, 223.555. Lilith Jones, 226.065. Some very strong riders to come. Fastest time set by Western Australia's Sally Carter. Lilith Jones, second fastest time. Kira Will, Nicole Duncan. Nicole Duncan in the back straight. Kira Will in the front straight. Two very strong riders from New South Wales. Both riders out of the gate. Kira Will on the front straight. Nicole Duncan on the back straight. Nicole Duncan has the blue in the helmet and the blue gloves. Kira Will the black helmet and no gloves. Expect two very quick times. Nicole Duncan 22.965. Kira Will just a few hundredths of a second behind that time. Nicole Duncan splits fastest, 39.589. Kira Will third fastest. 5 laps on the lap board. Nicole Duncan, winner of the scratch race, has gone out very hard. He's a very accomplished rider. Nicole slipped back now into 56.7 as second place. Kira Will holding third place. 4 laps on the lap board, 3.5 laps to go. A strong start from Nicole Duncan. Settled into the race now. Kira Will now moves into second place. It's Nicole Duncan moving down into third. Sally Carter, 2:23.555 is the time that they're after. Kira Will, 1:30.961. Nicole Duncan, 1:31.985. Second and third fastest time. 2 laps on the lap board, 1.5 laps to go. Nicole Duncan coming out of turn 3 onto turn 4. Kira Will has the ascendancy at the moment. Kira Will into second position, 1:48. And she's about 1.5 seconds ahead of Nicole Duncan. Can Kira Will get over the top of Sally Carter? 2:32.555. Kira Will gets it. She's gone into fastest position. 2:05.120 for Kira Will. Nicole Duncan, I missed the split. Can Kira Will get the top spot? She comes out of turn number 4. 2:22.607 and 2:24.794. New fastest time. All right, a great ride there from Kira Will. And she's taken almost a second off Sally Carter's time. But the good news for Sally Carter and Kira Will is they're both in the finals. Which final depends on heat number 7. Lauren Bates in the front straight from the ACT. And Felicity Wilson Haffenden from Tasmania in the back straight. Mr. Roderick J. Wilson, I have your credit card. Your FPOS card. I'm heading over to the gear shop shortly to see if I can use it. If you'd like. Just my luck, declined. All right, Lauren and Felicity out of the gate. Lauren Bates very, very quick. Felicity Wilson Haffenden is no slouch either. These will be quick. The rider from the ACT in the front straight and Tassie in the back straight. Lauren Bates just almost a second behind Felicity in that first lap. Doesn't mean a lot, but there are two riders that are through to the finals. Kira Will and Sally Carter. Well, will it be the bronze final or the gold final? We will find out. Lauren Bates now fastest qualifier. Felicity Wilson second fastest qualifier. These two are on fire. There's 5 laps on the lap board, 4.5 laps to go. Lauren Bates faster, but only by about 0.04 of a second over Felicity. 4 laps on the lap board. This could be a dress rehearsal for the gold final here. Fastest and second fastest, maintaining that with 3 laps to go. Lauren Bates, fastest qualifier so far. There's not much in it. And Felicity now goes to fastest qualifier. Lauren Bates, second fastest qualifier. There's only about 0.03 of a second in it. The Tasmanian has got a really strong second half. There's less than half a second in it, but Wilson Haffenden leads Bates. They're coming around now. Half a lap to go before they get the bell. Haffenden is up. She's up by just half a second. Lauren Bates in second position. They get the bell. The Tasmanian riding very strong. They produce strong riders down there in Tassie. Felicity Wilson Haffenden comes across the line. She's going to be the fastest qualifier with 2:21.656. Lauren Bates, second fastest qualifier with 2:22.048. Kira Will and Sally Carter will fight out for the bronze. That was a dress rehearsal for the gold final, and there's only half a second in it. Congratulations to Felicity Wilson Haffenden and Lauren Bates. Secured themselves a national medal. And later on, they'll decide who gets which colour. Kira Will and Sally Carter will battle it out for the bronze. That brings us to event 26A, which is the Junior Men 19 Sprint Repechage. Winners will go through to the quarterfinals. Well, some exciting racing there from our Junior Men 19s. Moving now back to the sprints and the repechage, and the riders in the repechage, the junior men under 19s will be looking to get themselves back into the quarterfinals. Start list for the 26A Junior Men 19 Sprint repechage. Harry Preston from Queensland, Neil Van Niekerk from South Australia, and Dylan Rogers from Tasmania. Different dynamic riding against two other sprinters in a match sprint. Van Niekerk on the front. Preston second wheel, and Rogers in the green on the back. Coming down the front straight for the first time. The pace picking up just a little bit. The South Australian on the front. Van Niekerk, the Tasmanian, starting to put a little pressure. At the back, Harry Preston trying to hold the wheel. They get the bell, and the South Australians looking to lead from front to finish. Harry Preston's under pressure, but it looks like the South Australian Neil Van Niekerk is going to hold on all the way through. Preston has a good... Preston had a good crack, but Van Niekerk too strong. Harry Preston second and Dylan Rogers third. Pretty evenly matched, those three riders, and Van Niekerk did a great job of holding the front. Not always the easiest position to be. Morning. So Van Niekerk will find himself in the quarterfinals. Congratulations to the South Australian. Doing it the hard way, but getting there in the end. Ricky Groth from Queensland, Chris Wright from WA, and Amirali. Alizadeh, I'm going to say, from Iran, who will lead them out. He's in the orange. They get the whistle and they're off. This is the repechage. The winner of the repechage will go through to the quarterfinals. Amirali on the front. Rolls off, and Ricky Groth now on the front. Amirali going for some height. And he's got Chris Wright on his wheel. An early attack from Chris Wright from WA. He fancies a long game. He's under a fair bit of pressure from Amirali, who goes around the outside. And Ricky Groth coming with some speed as well. It was a good attack. You've got to have a plan and execute it. Amirali looks set to take this one. Groth's doing everything he can. Nice pro lunge there from the Iranian, but he will go through to the quarterfinals. Good attack from Chris Wright. Always like it when a rider has a plan. Doesn't always work, but it's great to go into a race with an idea of what you're going to do, how you're going to win it, and have a crack. So it was a good attack there from Chris Wright. Well done, mate. That Amirali, in this occasion from Iran, will move through to the quarterfinals. Nice job there from Ricky Growth at the latter part of that race, showing plenty of pace, just not enough to get over the top. Up now, event number 29, the para individual pursuit qualifier. And we'll start off with Alana Foster from Victoria. Heat number 1, 12 laps and 3,000 metres. Heat number 2 will be Meg Lemon from South Australia versus Sharon Boyd from Victoria. Alana Foster getting ready. The clock started. Out of the gate, trying to get on top of that gear. Getting on top of it now through turn 1, out round turn 2. Right down low, the shortest possible path there around those first 2 corners. Into her work now and onto the TT bar. She comes out of turn 4. Alana Foster stops the clock for a first lap split of 27.833. Heading down the back straight now, looking good. Nice body position. Nice and tight round that corner and stops the clock with a 46.576. Two riders in the next heat. Meg Lemon in the front straight from South Australia and Sharon Boyd, gold medalist from yesterday from Victoria on the back straight. Alana Foster, 8 laps on the lap board, coming into the home straight now. Next split, 123.073. 3,000 metres, 12 laps this event. Alana Foster, the first qualifier, so she will set the benchmark time. 141.569 the split. Still travelling around nice and tight on that black line on the corners. and on the straights. Two minutes the split, 5 laps on the lap board. .219 the split for Alana Foster. 4 laps on the lap board. It's looking good as she comes out of turn 4. Just ducking down onto the duck board a little, taking a really short line. The quickest line is the shortest distance. She's certainly all over the top of that. Alana Foster from Victoria, first rider in event number 29, the para individual pursuit qualifying. Alana Foster coming onto the front straight. 2 laps on the lap board. Heading down the back straight now, really starting to hurt. It's a tough old event, this one. Legs will be burning, the chest will be burning. Alana gets the bell, putting everything into this last lap. She comes down the back straight for the last time, still maintaining a very good line. Alana Foster from Victoria stops the clock at 3:55.584. Getting quite dark in the velodrome now, the clouds overhead. One more heat, 2 more riders. Meg Lemon from South Australia in the front straight. Sharon Boyd from Victoria in the back straight. Yeah, 2 good gate starts there from Meg Lemon and Sharon Boyd, both out of the gate nicely. Sharon Boyd was very fast last night. We didn't get a split on that first one, but the time is up and running now. Very close. So Sharon Boyd up 43.179, Meg Lemon 44.259. Sharon Boyd is showing the pace she had yesterday here today. She's in great form, the Victorian. Big contingent of paracyclists from Victoria yesterday. Great to have so many paracyclists here at the National Championships. Victoria doing some good work in that space, and we saw it in the performances. Meg Lemon from South Australia, though, appears to be coming back in the second half. We haven't quite got to the second half yet, but Meg Lemon has closed the gap slightly. So looks like she's going to put Sharon Boyd under a little bit of pressure. Meg Lemon now goes to second fastest time. She's ahead of Sharon Boyd, who slips down to third fastest time. Alana Foster at this stage was faster than both these riders. But Meg Lemon is building. 1:58.855 for Meg Lemon. We didn't get a split on the back for Sharon Boyd on that occasion. But it does appear from here that Meg Lemon has got a considerable lead now. Meg Lemon 2:17, 2.5 seconds faster than Sharon Boyd, but still second fastest time. Four laps on the lap board. Meg Lemon 2:36, second fastest time so far. Sharon Boyd suffering on the back straight. Meg Lemon second fastest time. Alana Foster has posted the fastest time so far at this stage of the race with 2 laps to go. Meg Lemon 3:14.608. No split for Sharon Boyd. Yes, 3:19.239. Meg Lemon has a big gap on Sharon Boyd, but is not fastest time as yet. Alana Foster 3:55.584. Meg Lemon gets the bell. 3:34 is the split. Sharon Boyd gets the bell. 3:39 is her split. Meg Lemon adjusts herself on the bike. She's suffering. It's such a tough race, this one. She comes into the finishing straight, and Meg Lemon will stop the clock. Fastest time 3:53.654. And Sharon Boyd didn't get a reading over there. So Meg Lemon was second fastest time for the whole race, and then in the last lap drove it to a 3:53.654. Meg Lemon fastest qualifier. Alana Foster second fastest qualifier. Then Sharon Boyd. We didn't have a time for Sharon Boyd, but I'm pretty sure that Alana Foster's time was quicker. That's unofficial. Izzy Carnes is in the building. Favourite daughter of Queensland, Izzy Carnes. Izzy Carnes is living proof that you can be an elite cyclist and still do well at school. This is only something like 3 points, 99.7, I think her ATAR was, something like that. It's pretty close to mine. As in Earth is pretty close to the sun. Meg Lemon, fastest qualifier, 3:53.654. Up next, Junior Men 19 sprint qualifiers. Carolyn Jones is running. You don't see that very often. Don't forget to go up on the concourse and grab yourself a coffee and a sandwich and some all sorts of goodies in the cafe. Over on the other side of the concourse near the main entrance is the gear shop. Stockists for a velo bike. Lots of other good stuff. It does seem to be the most popular T-shirt going in track circles in Queensland. A Gear Shop T-shirt. They've got some of those over there as well. Event 30A, the Junior Men 19 Sprint Qualifier. Tate Ryan from South Australia. Amirali Elizada from Iran. When I don't know a surname, I just pronounce it differently every time, hoping that I might get it right at least once. More often than not, it's phonetic. So Tate Ryan, rider 104 from South Australia in the red, and the Iranian Amirali's come through from the repechage, and it's a best of three here in this quarterfinal. Amirali's done it the hard way, but he's there in the quarterfinals, and good on him, and he's circulating high on the track now, and he looks poised to dive. The South Australian takes matters into his own hands. He doesn't wait. He leads out. It's not a bad plan. He is the stronger rider on paper and in practice, as it turns out, coming out of turn 4, and a solid ride from the South Australian. Tate Ryan takes the first of three with a time of 11.02 in the last 200. So Tate Ryan one up. The quarterfinals are the best of three. Jaden Standard-Kier from New South Wales up against Neil Van Niekerk from South Australia. Guys circulating pretty quick out there. It's Jaden is high on the track. He's in the blue. The red guy is Neil van Niekerk. And the pace is pretty quick out there. This is the first round of the 3-round qualifiers. Full tilt now as they go into turn 1. Stanton Kerr trying to come over the outside. He's doing a good job of it. They come out of turn 4. The South Australian put up a good fight there, but Jaden Stanton Kerr from New South Wales too strong. The final 200 run in 11.24 seconds. So Jaden has the first one. And he'll be looking to get himself through to the next round. But a good ride there from Neil van Niekerk. He put Jaden under a lot of pressure. All right, up next, leading out, Noah Mason from New South Wales, Kai Aubry from South Australia up on the fence. Riders heading around now to the back straight and starting to get a bit of height. Kai Aubry just coming back down to the black line, happy to sit on the wheel for the time being. Goes back up again to get a little bit of height. The riders go up the track to get height to assist with their attack. And Noah Mason happy to TT it out against Aubry. Aubry comes up on the shoulder. He's got his work cut out. It's hard to come around on this bend. Aubry comes over the top. He does it. Aubry from South Australia, Noah Mason. It was a good plan. It was a good plan to go for the sprint on the black line and have the ascendancy going into turn 3, but Aubry was able to come around over the top. And so a good win there, first of 3 for Aubry from South Australia. Noah Mason just off the pace there. Second round could go either way for sure. Up on the track now, rider 79, Xavier Bland from New South Wales. And rider number 1 will be rider 115, Adam Lees from Victoria. Tony Tor blows the whistle, and it's Adam Lees to lead out. These riders are all sprinters, and so they tend not to go straight from the whistle. It does happen quite a bit in club racing, where you've got enduros and sprinters racing against one another, and quite often the enduro will go from the whistle and try to burn out the sprinter, who doesn't tend to be as strong over 3 laps full gas. These guys are all sprinters. We're here at the National Championships, so there's no enduros in this field. So they will tend to do the first couple of laps pretty slowly so that it comes down to the big sprint finish. The riders will assess their relative strengths to their opponent and then come up with a plan. Having a plan and executing the plan, two different things though. These guys though are going hammer and tong down the back straight. The Victorian Adam Lee's trying to get over the top. He does, but the Bland is not giving up as they come down to the line, and it's a great ride there from Adam Lee's. That was very, very close. Shoulder to shoulder racing as they came down the back straight out of turn 3 and 4 and over the finish line. So some classy sportsmanship there from the gents. And we look forward to the next one because that was very exciting. .11.38, the last 200 in that last race. All right, the gate's coming out, which means that we're on to event 32, I would say. Event 32 being the para individual pursuit. .4,000 metres. Up first in the on the front straight, the gold medalist and national champion from last night, Keely Kitkovics. And Jamison Whitley from Preston Cycling Club on the back straight. So the red flag up to indicate the rider on the front straight is ready. Green flag on the back straight. The clock starts. A good start there from Kitkovics on the front straight. A really good start. A little bit slower on the back straight from Whiteley, but he's getting wound up now. He's a great competitor, Whiteley. Love to watch him. Very animated. Really gets G'd up. Kitkovics was the first rider last night and held that time in his category for the whole qualifying and took out the event last night. He's in good form and he's made up a fair bit of time on Whiteley. Whiteley from Preston Cycling Club. There's a few riders here that aren't riding for their state. They're representing their club. Now, Jamieson is one of those riders, and fantastic to have him here and a few of his mates from Preston Cycling Club. 119 the split from Keeley, and he's going to make the catch, but they are riding for times. This is a qualifier. So Kitkovics makes the catch with 7 laps on the lap board. Whiteley still circulating nicely. That bouncy action of his getting the bike moving along very well. Kitkovics did a huge PB yesterday. Most likely going to do another one here today. Good conditions, although the cloud cover has come off, which hopefully makes it a bit cooler down there. But great fast conditions in the Anna Meares Velodrome today. Tomorrow is going to be 36 degrees. So it'll be another day of fast racing. 220.275 for Keeley. There's 5 laps on the lap board. Jamieson Whiteley starting to look a little fatigued and drifting up the track just a little bit, but doing a fantastic job out there. 247.06 for Keeley. Three. The guys are on different laps, so it's a bit that they almost the same time of that split there, but there's a lap between them. A little bit confusing. 3:22 the split for Keeley. 3:24 for Whiteley. 2 laps on the lap board. Keeley Kitkovic still looking really solid out there. He's riding very well. He's maintained that nice cadence from the start. Once he got on top of that gear, and he's riding a nice tight line on the black line. He gets the bell. 3:42 is the split. Hasn't really looked to fatigue too much. I'm sure he is very fatigued. He does drift a little bit on the line there, Keeley Kitkovic, but a great ride. Stops the clock at 4:02.691. Whiteley gets the bell. He's doing a great job out there. He's still stomping away on that little bike of his and moving along, drifting out to the red line there just a little bit. Coming down the front straight, the back straight for him. Jamieson Whiteley is about to stop the clock, coming down the back straight. Sits up and stops the clock at 4:34.627. Up next is Andre Askew from Preston Cycling Club on the front straight. On the back straight, Carlos Monolithis from Preston Cycling Club. So the two club mates up against each other and getting a high five from Whiteley as he heads down the ramp. Helen would like me to point out that bad switching there was me, not her. All right, both of the Preston boys out of the gate, and they're starting to wind up into their work. Andre Askew and Carlos Monolithis from Preston Cycling Club. Head to head, their two teammates. So they watched their buddy Jamison Whiteley just finish his qualifier. Keely Kitkovic's a very fast time. A few different categories in the paras. This is the AWII, I think. Haven't got categorisations against the riders, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is from presentations yesterday. Third and fourth fastest time, and it's very, very close between Andre and Carlos. Andre a little bit faster at this stage, but still 9 laps on the lap board. So Andre slightly faster. Both riders looking really solid in this early stage of the individual pursuit. 16 laps, it's a long way. It really burns towards the latter part of the race. Andre Askew, third. Carlos Monolithis, fourth fastest time at this stage so far. 7 laps on the lap board. Keely Kitkovic's the fastest time so far. He's done another cracker from a great performance yesterday. He's in fine form. And these Preston boys, Andre Askew now moves up to second fastest time. Monolithis drops a little bit back. Both riders riding a good line. Andre Askew now has just about got Monolithis in the same straight. I'm sure these guys ride together frequently. Second fastest time, 2:32 for Andre Askew. Monolithis stops the clock at 2:39.738. Fourth fastest time so far. Askew now has his teammate to chase. It can really help you pick up the pace when you've got a rider to hunt down. Andre Askew is riding very well, as is Carlos Monolithis in this para individual pursuit qualifier. Andre makes the catch. It's 3:13.743 the split. Second fastest time. He's going to set a really good time, Andre. Monolithis 3:24.918. Just drifting a little bit down there. Fatigue starting to show. There's 2 laps on the lap board. Andre now coming down the back straight. Looking, both riders now starting to look like they're hurting, which obviously you are at this stage of an individual pursuit. Andre Askew from Preston Cycling Club, second fastest time so far. He gets the bell. Carlos Monolithis is coming around to get the bell. He's into third fastest time. Askew stops the clock. Second fastest time, 4:15.040. A great time from Andre Askew from Preston Cycling Club. And his teammate now coming around into the back straight, and he will stop the clock at 4:33.124, and that is the third fastest time. I see the light. Up next, Nathan Brar and Harry Mesgar. Two riders from Victoria. Very strong para program down in Victoria. See some of the riders that have TT bars. Other riders just have sprint bars. Nathan Brar from Victoria has the Pursuit bars. And Harry Mesgar on the back straight just has the bunch bars. Doesn't have the TT bars. Both riders out of the gate. 12 laps of pure joy and fun and excitement ahead of them, which is 4,000 metres of punishment which is the individual pursuit. Takes a certain kind of human to enjoy this sort of thing. You really have to be able to punish yourself and go into that red zone. Fast start from Brar. In fact, there's not much between them. Mesgar on the back straight. Brar second fastest time. Mesgar third fastest time. Brar 1 minute. Harry Mesgar 1 minute 3 with 8 laps on the lap board. Fastest split for Nathan Brar. Harry Mesgar in third fastest split, 122.283. So Nathan Brar, the big man, is really powering in the early stages of this individual pursuit. Can he hold on to this pace? 138.360, fastest time. Harry Mesgar, 141.824, third fastest time at this stage. 6 laps on the lap board. Both riders really riding efficiently. Right down on that black line, not drifting in the corners. You tend to see a bit more of that as they fatigue and struggle to hold the core in the latter stages. But at this stage, both riders riding very efficiently, and Nathan Brar 2:16.621, fastest time so far. First rider to go faster than Keely Kitkovic's Harry Mesgar, right, holding on to third fastest time. Braren's got Mesgar in the same straight now. That'll give him some incentive to try and catch him. Mesgar holding on to that third spot. Braren, fastest time, 2:55.687. Mesgar 3:03.586. 2 laps on the lap board. Can Brar hold on to this top spot? He's coming up on the back of Harry now. He'll want to go around. Really starting to hurt. Riding high. You don't want to spend too much time up there. Washes so much speed off. Gets over and goes straight down to the black line. Gets the bell. Fastest time still 3:34.948. Nathan Brar, and the fastest time so far. He's looked solid from the very start. Harry Mesgar, third fastest time, holding on to that position. Nathan comes around down the front straight, stops the clock. Fastest time, 3:53.824. Great time, rolls up. Harry Mesgar now finishing. He's been sitting in third position and he really kicks at the end there. Holds on to third position, 4:06.016. Up next on the front straight, Darren Hicks, OAM. Darren Hicks is a gold medalist at the Paralympics and silver medalist at the Paralympic Games in Tokyo. He has a gold medal at the Road World Championships, 2 silver medals and 2 bronze medals. Time trials and road race World Track Championships. He's a gold medalist and has 2 silver medals. Darren Hicks, one of the most accomplished Australian cyclists. OAM on the front straight now and about to do his individual pursuit. Rides for South Australia. And Darren Hicks out of the gate, winding up now. Now getting on top of that gear, third fastest time. Out of turn 4. It's amazing how stable Darren Hicks is on that bike, riding that black line almost perfectly. Coming out of turn 4 onto the front straight. Third fastest time, 1:01.522. 8 laps on the lap board. Great cadence as he comes back onto the home straight again. 1:18.712. One of the most decorated riders, Australian cyclist, Darren Hicks. Fastest time at the split, 1:35, I think it was. 6 laps on the lap board. Darren Hicks is flying. (1:53.385). 5 laps on the lap board. Good conditions here at the Anna Meares Velodrome. Stinking hot. Just the way we like it. 2:10.972. Darren Hicks from South Australia. 3 laps to go for Darren Hicks from South Australia, and he's really dominating. Riding a great time, very efficient on the track. The most efficient that we've seen, hugging that black line, hardly ever outside of it. 2:46.977 is the time. 2 laps on the lap board. Darren Hicks going down the back straight. It's a good time. Gets the bell, 3:24.068. Hicks now coming out of turn 4 for the final time. Fastest time, 3:42.987. Dipped down to third fastest time. Darren Hicks, ladies and gentlemen, one of the best cyclists the country has and has had. And has just done a 3:42.987 individual pursuit. Fantastic time. Well, that time was 11 seconds faster than the previous fastest time. And back to 2 riders on the track, and that is Mitchell Bales from South Australia and Gordon Allen from New South Wales. Gordon Allen on the back straight, got himself another national championship last night. And from memory, it was a bronze for Mitchell Bales. You expect a very quick time here from Gordon Allen on the back straight from New South Wales. The flags go up and the clock ticks down, 10 seconds. Both riders out of the gate well. Mitchell Bales in the red from South Australia. Gordon Allen in the sky blue from New South Wales. That's mostly for the benefit of people watching on the live stream. And a cracking first lap from Gordon Allen, the fastest time so far, 22.891. And not a bad time for Mitchell Bales, third fastest time in his first lap. Gordon Allen, 41.049. On track for the fastest time. Still a long way to go. 9 laps on the lap board. Mitchell Bales, 6.04.059. Gordon Allen on track for the fastest time so far. But still 8 laps to go on the lap board, but circulating very well. He's a real talent, this kid. 1:18 the split. Gordon Allen and Mitchell Bales in the same straight now. 138.438 for Allen. Has dropped off the pace a little bit. Bales 145.269, sixth fastest time. There are different categories here. We do compare them against one another for the purposes of the times, but the medals are very different. We don't have the categorization in front of us, but there are races within the race here in this para category. Gordon Allen very strong out there. Mitchell Bales circulating around well. A bit of wind's come out of the sails of Allen now. He's dropped down into third place. So Darren Hicks has the fastest time so far as they've got 4 laps on the lap board. This is qualifying. Gordon Allen, third fastest, 241.67. Mitchell Bales, sixth fastest, 249.160. 3 laps on the lap board. Gordon Allen looks certain to make the catch, but he's just suffering a little at this latter stage of the race. 3:03.104 for Gordon Allen. Still a good time. Mitchell Bales 3:10.469. Two laps on the lap board. Mitchell Bales strong in this second half. Still sitting on a 3:36 at that split. Gordon Allen, he's edging closer. Gets the bell, third fastest time with 1 to go. Mitchell Bales gets the 1 to go as well, and he looks to have lifted for this last lap. Gordon Allen about to finish his qualifier, and he'll stop the clock. Fourth fastest, 4:05.772. And Mitchell Bales circulating around now. A great ride from him with a 4:14.742. Fastest time so far, Darren Hicks, 3:42.987. So up next, Candice Kennedy from South Australia with pilot Kelly Feats. Candice Kennedy and Kelly Feats from South Australia getting ready now. Candice Kennedy and Kelly Fetz from South Australia started their individual pursuit qualifier, and they've got that tandem up and running. 23.391 the split, and they're really humming down that back straight. Very aerodynamic there at the two riders. I learned from Velo Bike's Facebook page that website, sorry, that the 60% of the aerodynamic loss is actually in drag on your back. 8 laps on the lap board. Coming down the main straight now. Faster split, 1:13.705. The tandem really flying down that back straight, looking very comfortable. Split 1:31.075. Still maintaining the fastest split so far, this tandem. Looking really good. It's hard to pilot that bike around efficiently, but they're doing a fantastic job. Three laps to go, 2.22.964. South Australians looking very comfortable out there. The last of our para individual pursuit qualifiers. 240.5 the split. Two to go, 2:58.186. Well-oiled machine out there on this tandem, circulating very quickly and efficiently. Just looking up briefly, the pilot to see the time, 3:15. Very good looking tandem ride here, individual pursuit, as they come around at turn 4. Candice Kennedy and Kelly Fetz, pilot, 3:33.749 and fastest qualifying time. That's it for the Event 32 Para Individual Pursuit qualifying. And we'll now move back into the junior men and junior women sprint qualifying. A great time there from Candice Kennedy and Kelly. It's fantastic to watch a couple of riders that really have command over their tandem like these two do. We move on now to the sprint qualifiers.
You've got aircon.
All right, back to our sprinters, our junior men 19 sprinters, and Tate Ryan won the first match sprint against Amirali. Amirali all the way from Iran, and Tate Ryan all the way from South Australia. Tate won the first one, and he'll be looking to take this second one to move through to the next round. Obviously, Amirali will be looking to square up and take it to 3. We only saw one round 1 qualifier last night go to 3. It was very exciting. Amirali has the pace up a little bit higher this time, a little bit of a different tactic. And he's going to go longer than last time. Looks over his shoulder. He's right there. Tate Ryan's right there. They get the bell, and as they come out of turn 4, Tate Ryan comes up on the shoulder. Looks to be going over pretty comfortably. Amirali is not given up though, and he's fighting all the way down the front straight. But it's 2 from 2 from Tate Ryan from South Australia. Fantastic riding from Amirali Alizadeh from Iran to work his way through from relegation and into the quarterfinal. And unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the road for him. And Tate Ryan from South Australia, 2 from 2, will move through to the next round. Jaden Standard Kia from New South Wales up against Neil Van Niekerk. Jaden Standard Kia took the first one. He is in the light blue. Tony Tall blows the whistle to start this second match sprint from these two gentlemen. Stan Kia holding Van Niekerk onto the fence. Coming down the front straight in close proximity. He's really holding him against the fence as they come down the back straight. Diving down at turn 4. Stan Kia is going to win turn 3. And it's hard for Niekerk to come round over the top. But he's given it a red hot go. Good riding there from Van Niekerk, but Stanton Kia too strong. 2 from 2. .91 the 200 split. Craig Fossey from AusCycling. Jumped on the camera. On turn one, and big thanks to him for doing that for us. Noah Mason and Kai Aubry. Now Kai Aubry from South Australia took the first one. Aubry on the front. Mason looking to square up. Goes for height. Aubry now goes up. And with a lap to go, they both go. Mason looking to use the height as he accelerates down off the bend, and he's got a fair bit of pace as he comes into turn three. Aubry holding him off. I think Aubry will hold it. The New South Wales rider giving it everything, and it was pretty close in the end, but Aubry's done well, and he'll go 2 from 2 and move through to the next round. Up next, Xavier Bland from New South Wales and Adam Lees from Victoria. Xavier Bland on the front, Adam Lees from Victoria, second wheel. He won the first one. Best of three, race 2. Lee's up high on the fence. Bland now really pinning him, riding in very close proximity. Really tight racing as they come out of turn 4. Well, he does what he's told. I'll give him that much. Xavier Bland, go, and he's off. And he's doing well. Lees is giving it everything he's got, but Bland might have enough as they come down the home straight, and he does. Xavier Bland from New South Wales makes it 1 apiece. When the coach said go, it was like instant, turned on the tap. These two very, very, very similar for speed. 10.96. Now, because we have these two riders, which will ride again, they have a mandatory 10-minute break. So we will now have 10 minutes of random pop songs until they go to their third and deciding race.
I will take 20 computers and space in that area so we can have 20 fans. Well, multiply that by 4 USBs per computer. We'll have 80 USB fans going in there. Or we might put the lights out.
Will there be presentations after this final sprint?
And the rolls come out right.
And for what event would that be? For my birthday, or is it something else that we should be celebrating?
Passive aggressiveness.
I'll take that as a no.